Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Golgun, founder, president, and CEO for World Music Development. I'm here with my good friend, Leon Joseph Littlebird, the co-founder and vice president for Summit Musicians Relief Fund. Hi, Leon. How are you?
Good, Sam. Great to see you this morning, and thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely. Man, wow, what a beautiful performance you and Lisa just did. And I just got tingles after listening to you guys. Thank you so much for that beautiful performance. I couldn't think of a better way for us to kick off the celebration of the International Day of Peace, other than the music of, the beautiful music that you and Lisa provided. Thank you so much for that.
Well, you're so welcome. We really enjoyed doing it, and we really want to thank Dewey Paul Moffat, too, for recording it for us. And he does such a great job. So it was a pleasure, and we are just thrilled to be part of Dulcetterra, and thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. So, Leon, why don't you tell me a little bit about the history of Summit Musicians Relief Fund and what the vision and the mission of the organization is?
Oh, I'd be delighted to. The acronym for Summit Musicians Relief Fund is SMRF. So if you hear me referring to Smurf, it's not Little Blue People. It's actually the 501c3 nonprofit that we formed. And Smurf came out of an actual need for funds for our friend Arnie J. Green originally, who it's really interesting. Arnie and I were good friends. We did a lot of gigs together. We'd known each other for 25 years. And we both had the same rare form of leukemia, which was really strange because we certainly got it at different times, and from different ways. But Arnie was really, really sick. And at the time, the gigs had kind of dried up for him. And he was living in his van, and we just couldn't help him enough, right? And so we did a lot of benefits. Unfortunately, Arnie did pass from the severity of his leukemia. But then it was my turn, and the community once again came together in silent auctions, benefit concerts. And the musicians in this community are amazing. And really, I was fortunate because I survived and am super healthy again. But it was the love and the support of this community that started Smurf, really. It was at a benefit that they were doing for me when the musicians got together and said, why are we waiting till someone gets sick to help them out? And, classically, musicians like myself who make 100% of their living from performing don't really have health insurance. So if something catastrophic happens, there's just no money. I lost a year's worth of income when I was so sick, and, spent 21 days in the hospital, and, the bills were enormous. So the origin of Smurf was an organic process, and the community coming together to help Arnie and to help me. And then we all got together and said, hey, listen, let's do something proactive. So Steve Plummer actually took the bull by the horns and got an attorney and made us a 501c3 nonprofit. And then we formed the board of directors, which is Dewey Paul Moffat, who really started those first benefits for Arnie. And then Steve and myself and Tom Fricke and Tammy Berkey and Bruce Butler are on the board. And now we've really got, we're going into our fourth year. And we've been able to help a lot of musicians. So really cool.
Great. Well, I've had the pleasure of meeting and knowing most of your board of directors. Some of them I know better than others. And you definitely have a fantastic group of people that truly care, and thank you for what you guys do for the musicians in the Summit County community and surrounding areas. It's definitely a much needed service and organization for musicians around this area. So Leon, tell me a little bit about some past programming. What have you guys done when you started out Smurf? What did you guys do for fundraising, and what kind of programs did you create for musicians?
Well, in the very beginning, it was an organic thing, like I said before. So we said, well, what have we done in the past to raise money when someone's sick? Well, that was benefit concerts and silent auctions. So that's how we started off. The towns here in Summit County have been great. The Silverthorne Pavilion, the Dillon Amphitheater. You know, we've been able to get these big venues, and they've donated the time and space to let us do concerts there. So that's how we started raising money initially. And then it's been donations. Online donations have been great. A lot of times when we're performing, I've done this, oh God, at least a half a dozen times where I donate all the tips I make that day to SMRF, and we have a lot of other musicians who do that from time to time. And you know, the tips are like 5 times what they would normally be when you do that. It's amazing, the generosity of people, and they know it's for a nonprofit and to help people. And so we have just been spreading the word grassroots like that, and that's really how we've done it, is through creating events and asking for donations.
All right, wonderful. Well, Leon, you know, all organizations, everybody's life has been affected by the COVID pandemic. And I'm sure that's had effects on Summit Musicians Relief Fund as well. Could you tell our audience how your organization has been affected by this pandemic and what you guys are doing to deal with it?
Well, yeah, certainly. You know, all of us musicians, all of a sudden in the course of a couple of days, we lost 100% of our income. And we had our big annual fundraisers all ready to go, and they got canceled. So SMRF was looking at, oh my gosh, here we go. Our entire schedule got wiped out. And, you know, what we were really good at is getting 400 or 500 people to come to these events, and that's what we can't do. So I really thought long and hard about what can we do. And then also, we're here to help musicians. So it was, well, what do we do? Do we give every musician in the 5 counties $100? That's not going to help. That's not going to do much, you know. And then and what if one of them gets sick? What if one of them actually gets COVID, you know? And so there was we spent a lot of time trying to be creative and innovative and think of how we can help. And here's the idea we came up with. It was called SMRF Cares Concert Series. And what we did, we used the Goat in Keystone, which is a nightclub that Dewey manages, and it was closed, obviously. So we set it up on the Arnie J. Green stage, and we did a studio session. So it was a paid gig for musicians to come and play original music. So one of the parameters was you had to have an hour of original music. And we recorded with a 4-camera production a studio session of you playing your music, and it was a paid gig, and then you got the video to promote your music on top of it so you could do online concerts. And we did that for 16 musicians. It turned out to be 8 full concert sessions, but we were able to pay 16 local musicians to do that, and then promote their original music, to give them something that they could put online, ways to continue to raise money. And really proud of it. It came out beautifully. And Dewey Paul Moffat did the production. I was the executive producer, and so I had my own chair with my name on it, which Dewey made with a felt marker. And then I did interviews with, much like you're interviewing me today, with the musicians, and so we got to know the musicians better too, and the inspirations for their music and how COVID had affected them, and so it really turned out to be something cool. And it's on our SMRF website. You can access those videos.
Yeah, I've seen some of those videos, and they are just outstanding. The production is beautiful. What Dewey has done on those. And like you said, I want our audience to know they can go to your website to see these videos. But man, what a awesome idea, and what you guys did. Not only you created a paid gig for musicians during the time that there are no paid gigs really. On top of it, you provided them with a full professional video production that they can use for promotional purposes, free of charge. Usually things like that cost artists hundreds to thousands of dollars. So not only it didn't cost them that, on top of it, they got paid. Wow. I hope people out there, our audience, is taking a note of what you guys are doing. And I hope that our audience will support you guys to continue this fantastic work that you're doing. And speaking of that support, can you tell me, if our audience today wants to support you, how can they support and donate to Summit Musicians Relief Fund?
It's real easy, and we would love to have any donations we can get. Our website address is the SMRF, the Smurf.org. So it's pretty easy. Just leave. We always say we can't be Smurf without you, but there's no you in Smurf. It's just SMRF. So thesmurf.org. And then there's a beautiful little donate button in the lower right-hand corner when you go there, and it gives our history, talks about Arnie, and it's kind of a cool website to see. But you can also see the Smurf Cares concert series videos on there and see some really talented performers. And one thing I do want to also let the audience know is that it's Summit Musicians Relief Fund, but we consider that all of the counties that border Summit County are also included. So we're not exclusively, we're Eagle and Grand County and Lake County and Clear Creek. And I think that's important to know is, we've really got 5 counties involved in this.
Yep. I got to mention, since you do Park County as well. I know I'm aware of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. We know people over there that are mayors and stuff. So,
I don't know who those people are. I try to stay away from them.
Even know drummers from Park County. So, but one of the things that helped the Smurf Cares concert series was, once again, the town of Dillon donated a bunch of money. We had local businesses, Angry James and Affordable Music and people like that, donate money. And we actually didn't even ask. We just told them what we were doing, and they said, how can we help? And that's the beauty of Smurf. Our motto is something that I have said for years, because I was born and raised here, is that we take care of our own. And I'm living proof that this community can come together and save somebody's life. I always say it was the love and energy and prayers of all the people in this community that saved me. Because they only gave me a month to live 5 years ago. So, and now I'm healthy as a horse. So it's a beautiful thing in action, and Smurf is the real deal. And another thing that happened during this pandemic is one of our local musicians, young guy, had a heart attack. Was out on a hike, started feeling bad. Fortunately, he got back to his car. Friends drove him to the hospital. He had a pretty massive heart attack. Young guy. So unexpected. And so, we contacted him right away. How can we help? And when it came all down to the end, when he didn't have enough to pay the end of the hospital bills, Smurf paid it for him. And one of the things that we've done that continue to do is when a musician, our mutual friend Kevin Danzig, he had pneumonia last winter, right? And we were able to pay him for the gigs he missed. Now, how cool is that, right? Yeah. There he was home recuperating, feeling like, oh man, how am I going to make rent? Because I'm missing all these gigs. And I went to his house with a mask on before COVID because I knew how sick he was, and handed him a check. So that's Smurf. And it's just such an honor to be part of something that's real, that helps people in a real way.
Wonderful. Well, Leon, I'm so glad that you're still here with us today. There is a reason for it. And I think we see the reason. It is this beautiful work that you and your team are doing with Summit Musicians Relief Fund. And thank you again. Well, Leon, we're ready to wrap this interview up. And I just wanted to see if there was anything else that you wanted to leave us with today.
Well, speaking of doing something really important, Dulcetterra is doing it with this program that you're putting on. And I hope that everyone that's watching will realize how important it is that music is healing. And we certainly try and think of that. When the doctors gave me that grim news all those years ago, I knew 2 things. And I knew that I hadn't written the best music of my life, and that the music that I was performing hadn't done all the work it was meant to do. And music is a gift, and it's something that we love to share, and music is healing.
It sure is. Thank you again for your time, Leon, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Sam. Love you, brother.
Love you too, brother. Take care. Bye-bye.